want to welcome you to my free workshop, How to Meal Prep with MyFitnessPal. I absolutely love doing free workshops. It's one of my favorite things. And sharing my knowledge about macros, how I use MyFitnessPal, why I find that is such a huge help with hitting your macro goals. So thank you for joining tonight. And with that, we will get started. So just a little bit about me. Some people know me, some people don't, but just so you know, I've been married for 19 years to my husband, Scott. I have a 16-year-old son named Connor, a 13-year-old daughter named Madison. My actual full-time job is I work in corporate communications, which I've been doing for probably the past 20 years. But during that time, I've always been into health and fitness. I have run marathons, I've done triathlons, and then most recently in 2012, I started competing in figure competitions. And during that time, I really started to get a better understanding of how to track macros. That's what I use to get stage ready. So I drop between 20 and 25 pounds every year. That's probably the difference in these pictures here. So yes, that's me before I started competing and me on stage. But I've found that tracking macros enables you to eat in a way that is sustainable and healthy and well balanced, while also being able to reach your health and fitness goals. So with that, I ended up becoming a certified macro coach. I'm a precision nutrition coach. I was a personal trainer in college. I went back, I got my certification again. And most recently during quarantine, I got certified to teach yoga as well. So love learning about fitness, constantly looking at ways to enhance my personal development, but really love competing. I've been competing since 2012. In 2016, I got my pro card, which is kind of like, that's what you hope for, is to go pro. And then last year I made my pro debut, which I won. And then I got 2 more pro cards, because with different organizations, they have different pro cards. So all these are natural. I do not take any kind of steroids. I do take supplements that are all, we get tested. So everything is natural. And I love being able to transform my body in that way through diet and exercise. And when I started competing, people started asking me, how do you do it? What are you eating? What are you not eating? So that is when I launched Allison Jackson Fitness in 2017. And now I help other people, lose weight, reach their goals, whether that's to gain muscle, what they're thinking about competing. So it's been an awesome journey. I love it. And that's just a little bit about me. So here's what we're going to cover today. Most importantly, we're going to talk about meal prep. What is it and why do it, why it's important. We'll talk about some myths. I know a lot of people have a lot of excuses of why they don't meal prep, and I'm going to bust some of those myths. We'll talk about the tools that you need for meal prep. It is a lot easier than people think. It's not, isn't an all-day affair. It takes a little time, maybe an hour to an hour and a half. And then once you get it down to a science, it takes me now 45 minutes to an hour. We'll talk about how to use MyFitnessPal with meal prep, especially now with us stuck at home. I have found that I really come to rely on MyFitnessPal to prepare my meals ahead of time, but not only that, log them ahead of time and always know exactly what I need to eat and when. And then we'll go through some of my go-to meal prep recipes. So break out the worksheet, because that is what includes all the recipes and all the meals, and gives you a basic outline of what a weeknight worth of dinner meals looks like. Some of those are my favorite family recipes. Those are the ones I rely upon. They're simple, they're easy, they're healthy, and my family likes them. So hopefully you will too. So what is meal prep and why is it so important, right? So I firmly believe that what gets measured gets managed, whether it is your meals, your calories, your macros. If you don't measure, and it goes with anything, right? Your finances, for work, you have key performance indicators. What gets measured gets managed. So if you're tracking it and you have an understanding of goals that you've set, you'll be able to reach them when you watch and measure. So you want to have a game plan to guide you. So meal prep is not willy-nilly. You need to have a strategy and a plan. It is easy. It does take some getting used to, but it's like anything else. Once you start doing it, before I was competing, I never meal prepped, and it was very stressful trying to figure out what am I eating every night, what am I feeding my family. I learned to meal prep while I was doing my competitions, because once you start meal prepping, that's what you're eating. You're not going off the ranch and having all different kinds of things. You prepare your food in advance, and it helps you stay on track. It helps you reach those goals, no matter what they are. It'll save you money, because you'll know exactly what you need to buy and what you plan on eating. You won't waste food or waste money. It'll save you time because you will not be stressing out about what to cook. You won't waste time trying to figure it out, scrambling to understand what foods you have available and what you need to cook. So it'll save your sanity. It's going to reduce your stress level. It'll get, if you're by yourself, it'll keep you on track. If you have family members, that will keep them on track. My family knows if you want to know what's for dinner, go look on the fridge because the list is there for the week. And they'll know what we're having. And if they need to help me with dinner, maybe it's preparing a salad or throwing something in the oven, they know what needs to be done. So that is what is meal prep and why do it. So here are just some of the myths. And a lot of these, some people find that they're true. I personally do not think they're true. That might be this way in the beginning, but once you get the hang of meal prepping, you'll find that this is not the case at all. So it takes too much time. Again, it might take you 2 or 3 hours, get the hang of it on a Sunday. Once you get that locked down, it will literally be anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes. It does not take much time at all. It's not complicated. It does not take too much effort. I'm giving you, the worksheet has your whole game plan. It has the recipes. All you need to do is go shopping. Those are your meals for dinner. I typically eat the same thing for breakfast and lunch. I think most people do. I don't know too many people that eat something completely different every day of the week. So what you tend to do is have some of the same meals. It makes it much easier for tracking, and it makes it much easier when you're logging it in MyFitnessPal. Meal prepping is not expensive unless you select a meal prep service, and there are meal prep services. So for example, Eat Clean Bro, I highly recommend them. They're delicious. They are made by a chef. A lot of competitors use them because they're macro friendly. But at the end of the day, it's like $10 a meal, and you're getting, don't get me wrong, there are delicious foods like bison chili, but there's also grilled chicken and brown rice and things that you can make yourself in bulk and package and be good to go. But if you don't want to do that, if you want to order and have someone deliver it, highly recommend that. But again, that's expensive. And then meal prep is definitely not pointless, but you need to have a plan, and you need to know what your goals are, right? What your macro goals are, what your goals are for your family, if you're trying to eat less meat, if you're trying to eat more protein. Those are my kind of myth busters for meal prep. And then here's just some of the meal prep tools you'll need. So containers. If you want to divide your food, measure it out, and have it packaged, you want containers. A food scale makes it so much easier to make sure that you have the right portions, because that is where people tend to find that they're not hitting their goals because their portions are kind of above what they think they're eating. So a food scale ensures that accuracy. You want to have enough counter space to spread everything out and get it ready. Sheet pans. So one of the recipes you'll see is sheet pan chicken fajitas, one of my go-to recipes. You want some sheet pans just to put the food in and prepare it. Aluminum foil plastic wrap. And then in the wintertime, not so much in the summer. In the summer, I'm all about grilling. In the winter, I'm all about the Instant Pot. So if you have an Instant Pot or a crock pot, those will be helpful. So what we'll do is we will put all the ingredients in there so that when you have that meal for the evening, you just throw it in the morning. Saves you that morning time prep. And then most importantly, the other tool you'll need is a strategy. So again, that worksheet will help you with your meal prep strategy. So how to meal prep. So here is what you need to do. You're going to make a list of your meals, and your dinners are covered in the worksheet. Generally, I think most people have, like I said, your breakfast and lunch are very, I typically have the same thing. I know most people do. But so for example, breakfast is usually 4 to 6 egg whites, rice cakes. I might have egg whites with oatmeal. I might make protein pancakes. Those are kind of my 3 standard breakfasts. Then lunch, my favorite is tomato basil rice cakes with guacamole and turkey. That's kind of my go-to. I might have a salad. I might have leftovers, but typically it's the same thing. So it's easy enough to just copy and paste in MyFitnessPal. But you want to create your shopping list from that. And before the quarantine, always ordered my groceries online. I still do that. And they're typically the same thing. So it's super easy. Just go online, check off everything you ordered last week, have it delivered, saves you the trip to the store, saves you from like that mindless shopping and just grabbing stuff if you're hungry. So buy all your food and then allot yourself some time. I typically do my prepping on a Sunday. I'll order my food. Usually I have to order it Thursday, it gets delivered Sunday. So Sunday is usually my meal prep day. allot some time, and then when the food gets delivered, that is when I prep, because it's all out already, right? They're getting it delivered. I put it all out. I figure out what meals need to be prepped or made for the week. I package them all up and then just stick them in the fridge, or package them up and put them in the freezer if needed. But most of the time it is like creating the sheet pan of chicken and onions and peppers. It's taking the crock pot, putting the ingredients in. It's just prepping those foods so that whatever meal you're having at dinner, it's just throwing it in the oven for like 30 or 40 minutes. Makes it super duper easy. So meal prepping with MyFitnessPal. Hopefully you have MyFitnessPal. It's a free app. Download it on your phone, or you can download it on your desktop. I actually have both. I keep it on my desktop throughout the day, so I have my guide of what I'm eating throughout the day. But the easiest way to log your food is with your phone. You want to create an account and just make sure that you look at your calories, because MyFitnessPal will give standard calories to everybody, and they're usually very low. They're like 1,200 to 1,300 calories, which is too low to start. And I can help you if you need to set your calories. I generally tell people, take your goal weight and multiply that by 12. That's a great starting point for calories. So if your goal is 150 pounds, you're starting at like 1,800 calories. That may seem like a lot, but you need to be able to take away from somewhere. So if you start at 1,200, before you know, you're gonna be eating 1,000 calories. It's just too little. And you want to lose weight at a slow pace, and you don't need to really reduce by that much to really see a difference, as long as you are accurate with the food that you are logging. So create your account, set your goal to something that is realistic for you, and what you know, your body type and size and all that good stuff, and your goals. But make sure that is all accurate. And then you're gonna want to also look at the macros. And that's the beauty of MyFitnessPal, is if you look at this, here's your calorie goal, but they have the macros underneath: the carbohydrates, the protein, the fat. I generally tell people to do a 40-40-20 split: 40% protein, 40% carbs, 20% fat. If you have the premium version, it will let you customize so many different things: your macros, other nutrients like fiber and sugar and sodium. If you have the free version, it's totally fine. I used the free version like the first 3 years I was using MyFitnessPal. It'll give you just a range. You won't be able to get exactly there, but you'll be able to get pretty close. So these are just all the different things that you can track and really monitor. So super important to watch your sodium, watch your sugar, all that good stuff. So with that, next up is some of the common macro tracking mistakes. So if you've been tracking your food and you're like, I'm in my calorie goal and watch my macros and nothing's happening, these are some of the reasons that sometimes the scale won't move, or you find that you're not dropping weight when you're tracking. So the first is eyeballing your food or guesstimating. Many times we guesstimate too high. So you might be eating 6 ounces of chicken, but logging it as 4 ounces. If you want to really be accurate, you want to get a food scale and measure your food. I've gotten to the point where I just constantly measure everything. I'm just like, I don't want to guess. I don't want to estimate. I just want to know how much it is. And then it'll help you really get used to, what does 4 ounces of chicken look like? What does a cup of rice look like? Because if you take a cup, that's volume, and you're going to stuff that cup full. The scale doesn't lie, as we know. Body weight scale is the same way, right? The scale's not going to lie. Grams is the most accurate you could get. So if you really want to be focused on accuracy, use a scale. Tracking as you go. I always try to log all my food before my day gets started. I usually know the whole day what I'm eating for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and my snack. You want to just prepare ahead of time and then track either right before you eat or right after, because what happens is if you wait till the end of the day, and this is what my son does, he's trying to gain weight, he tracks his macros. It's trying to remember, what did I eat? Oh, I forgot I had a bite of this or a sip of that. You want to just make sure that you log it as in the process as you're eating it, immediately after or right before. Do not wait till the end of the day, and don't do it like randomly, because you will forget stuff. Not having your food prepped, so if you don't know what you're going to be eating, you tend to kind of go off the rails and just eat whatever. And that could throw off your tracking, it could throw off your macros, and then not having any healthy food on hand. So you always want to make sure like you have a go-to, whether it's a protein bar or just a quick, easy meal that you could throw together that will keep you from getting off your goal. So those are just some of the common mistakes you want to be aware of and avoid. Meal prep with MyFitnessPal. MyFitnessPal has this awesome feature. If you use your phone, you could scan a barcode with your phone and it will automatically enter all of the information for the food. The thing with that though is you just want to double check. So scan it and then look at the package and make sure that the package matches MyFitnessPal, because what happens a lot of times is sometimes it'll plug the calories in and nothing else, or it'll be completely different. So it's always not 100% accurate. So you just want to double check, make sure that it looks right. Even when you enter food, sometimes you'll enter a food and it'll have no calories. There's a little green check mark, which usually determines the accuracy. Like people will rank the accuracy of certain foods and say, yeah, this is right. So you want to look for that green check mark and just always double check to make sure that the macros are in there and the calories, that they look right. Sometimes they look too low, sometimes they look too high. And when you do enter foods, you want to like break them apart. So for example, if I go to Chipotle and get a salad, I enter the salad ingredients individually. You don't want to just enter a Chipotle chicken salad, because sometimes it has dressing, it has cheese, it has beans, or it have beans, or it has rice. So I will enter like romaine, chicken, salsa, guacamole. I'll do it piecemeal just to make sure that all the things in my salad are logged and accurate. So highly recommend that. And a lot of the meals and a lot of the restaurant meals in MyFitnessPal are directly from the restaurant's website. So you'll notice if you compare like the Chipotle website with what's in MyFitnessPal, it usually is fairly accurate. This is a graphic just to show how simple it is to build out your meals. I think a lot of people stress out when they see macros. It's like, oh, I got to make sure it's evenly protein, carbs, fat. That is important, but the two most important numbers are your calories and your protein. Like once you hit your calories, just stop. You don't need anything else. And then the first thing you want to worry about hitting is your protein. So for each meal, start with the protein and then build from there. And try to keep your, some people like to eat very big meals. Some people like to eat little meals. So you're either going to eat small meals every couple of hours or just 3 big meals. When you do that, start with the lean protein and build out from there, because people have such a struggle with hitting protein. There's carbs in everything. There's carbs in vegetables. There's carbs in, rice, pasta. You won't have any problems hitting carb numbers. Protein is really hard. Fat is another one, super easy. Because there's usually fat, a little bit of fat in the lean protein, but any kind of sauce, anything you add, oils, salad dressing, fat's another macro that's really easy to hit. So again, focus on calories number 1, protein number 2. So once you hit your calorie number, stop. And you want to work on focusing on that protein number. Make sure you try to hit that. So that's my tip for your macros, because I know a lot of people get confused with macros, and it's like, do I have the right percentages? Do I have the right amount? And you're trying to get all fancy with recipes and different ingredients. Just protein, calories. That's all you need to worry about. And if you're struggling, like I don't know what to put, a lean protein and a vegetable. That's your perfect meal. Because you can have a lot of vegetables. It's still going to not be that many carbs, but it'll fill you up. You'll get your fiber, you get your vitamins, and it'll be all good. So that's typically what I tell people when they eat out. They're like, what do I eat when I go out? Grilled chicken, some vegetables. Get a salad with fish. Just keep it simple. And then once you get the hang of tracking macros and what calories are in certain foods, you'll be able to get more advanced. Here's another way to plan your meals. So you have different columns. So there's your protein column, again, most important. Then you have your hardcore carbs. I mean, this is, your bread, your bagels, your popcorn. Vegetables, again, all vegetables have varying amounts of carbs, but here's all different vegetables, and fruit. Fruit, again, also has carbs. There is not a fat column, but fats are like avocado, olive oil, nuts. It's, again, very easy to get your fats, your butter, your mayonnaise. People are familiar with what the fats are. But again, it's like a 40% protein, 40% carbs, 20% fat, and you'll be fine. So again, that's another little cheat sheet for building your meals. So meal prepping with MyFitnessPal. This is what I typically do. I use MyFitnessPal as a map. So I wake up in the morning, I log all of my food. And typically I'm just copying and pasting breakfast and lunch. Dinner is usually different, But again, I have my meal plan, so I know for the whole week what I'm having. So I'll just log it. And then I'll see like how many calories are left, how much protein do I need to hit. But it'll give you a general idea of what you're eating at each meal so that it's a roadmap. You're not like, I'm so hungry, I don't know what to eat. Look at MyFitnessPal, and there it is. That is what you eat. And again, keep it simple. Keep your meals just a couple ingredients, a couple things, because that's the other thing. People get MyFitnessPal fatigue. It's like, I don't want to have to log 10 things in. No, nobody does. So if you keep it to 3 or 4 things for each meal, it'll make it that much simpler. So again, log the entire day, and that will give you a really nice map. And you'll see, maybe you have 200 calories at the end of the day that you could have some light ice cream or like a protein bar or a treat or a piece of chocolate, and you could build that in. You could say, all right, let me plan all my meals so I can have a little treat at night. That's the beauty of tracking macros. It's also called flexible dieting, or if it fits your macros. Nothing is off limits as long as it fits your macros, as long as it fits within that calorie allotment. But you'll find that when you are focused on protein and building your meals around protein, protein is going to fill you up. You're not going to be hungry. It's going to keep you full. It's going to help you build muscle. It's going to keep you satiated. So it's going to keep you full, and you're not going to be like starving. At least that's what I find. Because I do find that if I have a carb heavy meal within a couple of hours, you're like, okay, I'm hungry again. But when you eat protein every couple of hours, you'll find that you're very full throughout the day. So break out your worksheet, because this has so much gold in it. It has your MyFitnessPal checklist. So making sure that your goals are set for you, that your account is filled out, that you know what your goals are set to. And then we have this dinner cheat sheet. So this is a full week of dinners. And you'll notice, I mean, a lot of these are so super easy, and most of them are only a couple ingredients. And you could swap out things. So, like Thursday's grilled steak with grilled asparagus. Okay, if you're not a meat eater, you could swap that for tofu or fish. If you don't like asparagus, swap it for cauliflower or broccoli. You can mix and match stuff here. Nothing is in stone. Crack's Law is typically you could use ground turkey, you could use lean ground beef. You could use, like Beyond Beef if you are not a meat eater. So there are ways to replace and, try different things with this. The teriyaki pork tenderloin, you could use a piece of beef. You could use chicken breast. And then you'll notice too, like Friday's leftovers. Like you might have a lot of leftovers if you don't have a big family or it's just you. You can have a leftover night and just have a buffet of some leftovers. We usually do a wild card. We order in from somewhere. And then I always love breakfast for dinner, because I love breakfast. I could probably have that for every meal. But again, that's another thing, just kind of mix it up. And then this other sheet on the H plan is similar to the other slide I showed you, where, again, start with your protein and build from there. And there's so many options. You could do salads, you could do stir fry. I feel like the different things you could do, there's endless options. So pick the things that you like and make stuff that you like. Losing weight and tracking your macros should not be about torture. It should be about how you get the most joy out of what you like to eat and making sure that fits your diet. So just some key points to remember here. So it's progress, it's not perfection. It's the little things that you do every day. It's the consistency with what you're doing, whether it's meal prepping, tracking your food, sticking to your calorie allotment. It's those things that you do every day that's going to really add up, and then you'll be able to see that downward trend of the scale. Losing weight is not a linear down, that's it. It's like this, it's a roller coaster ride. I said I've been gaining and losing the same 2 pounds all summer, but I'm trying to, over the months, see like that downward trend. That's what you want. And especially during these crazy times, you want to control what you can and let go of the rest. You can't control what's going on in the world. You can control what's going on in front of you, what you're putting in your mouth, the movement you're getting, the things that you're doing for your health and your wellness and your self-care. So remember to control what you can and let go of the rest. And then accountability is a critical key to success. When I started competing, I got a coach right away, because I was like, it's hard, and I needed somebody there like cracking the whip and keeping me accountable. So that is definitely something that I have found has helped, not only in competing, but even in my business, even at work. Accountability is really a critical component. So if you're not a member of my private Facebook group, we always have, every month we have a different goal, like hashtag August goal, And it could be anything from your macros to tracking your steps with your Fitbit or your Apple Watch. But we try to just support each other and make sure that we check in and keep each other accountable. So with that, I did want to let you guys know that I am opening my membership program again. I typically close it and open it because I'd like to really focus on the folks that are in there and making sure that they achieve their goals. So just want to let you know that the membership starts September 1st. It's going to be open all this week. I'm taking a limited number of people, but it's really about educating you on macros, making sure you're hitting your goals, that they're customized to you. The importance of, we don't just talk about macros, talk about mindset, because mindset is so critical. And muscles, like weight training needs to be a part of your life. I can't say enough about weight training. It's like the fountain of youth. We lose muscle as we age, so really it is a uphill battle that you want to battle to keep that muscle, because muscle at rest burns calories. Fat at rest does not. So you want as much muscle as you can so that your metabolism, you can eat more, right? Because if you're at rest and you have more muscle and you're burning more calories, it means you can eat more. So highly recommend weight training as well. So just want to tell you a little bit about my membership program, then I'm going to open it up to Q&A. What's included? There's monthly meal plans, although they're more for guidance. I like people to be able to create their own meals. I don't want you to be tied to anything, but you get monthly meal plans, you get monthly workouts, mindset coaching around how to stay motivated, how to stay positive, how to stay on track. And we've had great results from people, everything from, clothes are looser, I have more energy, I sleep better, people are noticing that I look different, which I love. The non-scale victories, NSVs, those are my favorite, because I feel like people get so tied to the scale and tied to that number that when they get that third party validation, there's nothing better than that. So this is just a little sneak peek of what the platform looks like. So when you do become a member, you get your own private platform, and it has all these different training options in it. And then you also get, the different sections for macros, muscles, and mindset. We talk about cardio, weight training. There's lots of different things on calories, on meal prep. There's a whole actually course on meal prep, and I actually videotaped myself meal prepping. So you can actually see what that looks like. And then I also included some yoga, weight training workouts, the quadrant, which is something I use when it comes to mindset and journaling. Huge fan. So these are the different membership options. There's a basic option, which includes the meal plans, the workouts, the coaching, and then there's a mobile app that I use that you get your workouts on. It's called Trainerize, and it's great because it's always with you. If you're on vacation, you still have your workouts with you. And again, it keeps you accountable. It will check in and make sure that you're doing your workouts. And then the VIP option, you just get that much more accountability. You get more customization, so I will give you customized macro goals. I'll do regular reviews of your MyFitnessPal account, and then have coaching calls with you as well. So if you need more accountability, if you need more of cracking the whip, highly recommend the VIP option. And it's a good group. And then the private Facebook group. So again, just a great way for more accountability, support, people on the same journey. And then also wanted to share, this is the first time I've offered this. I've never done this before. But people were asking, can I prepay? Can I, sign up for, more than 1 month? So offering this, it's only available for the next 48 hours because I'm taking a limited number of people. But you get 6 months for $9.97, which would normally be probably well over $1,200. So it's 6 months of meal plans, workouts, check-ins, coaching. And the beauty of this is most people see the most drastic transformation in 3 months. So in 6 months, forget about it, you'll look like a different person. So highly recommend if you have a significant amount of weight to lose or you really want to lock in that accountability, this is the best value that you're going to get is the 6 months for $9.97. So with that, and more bonuses. So if you sign up now, if you sign up for the end of the week, so by the 28th, I'm closing registration on the 29th. The program starts September 1st, but when you sign up now, you'll also get a one-on-one coaching call. So we could talk through exactly what your specific goals are and how we can reach them. And you'll also get a hard copy signed book if you don't have one already. So with that, I want to open it up for Q&A. And I know one of the first questions I always get, so I'm going to cover it right off the bat, is people always want to know, do I have to give up alcohol? Alcohol is a macro. You either count it as a carb macro or a fat macro, but it, at the end of the day, is empty calories. And you know, don't get me wrong, I love a glass of red wine or a nice drink every once in a while, but it's really prioritizing your goals, because what happens is your liver is going to take care of the alcohol before it takes care of the fat. So it just is going to make it might take you that much longer to lose the weight and the fat if drinking is a regular part of your diet plan. One drink once a week is not, it's not the end of the world. And if you allot your calories for it, it's totally fine. Multiple drinks, multiple nights of the week is going to really, you're going to have a hard time, and it's going to take you a lot longer. So when I prep for competitions, I go dry for like 12 weeks. I just, the priority is winning and wanting to do well. So, I give it up for that short period of time. But that's not to say it's off limits forever. It's just, you want to reach your goals, and that's just one of the ways that might hold you back. Another question I've gotten is around protein. What are some of the best ways to get your protein? And I know that it is hard. So the way that it's funny because it has taken me a while, and now I almost sometimes get too much protein. What I typically will have is egg whites in the morning, either turkey or fish, or, usually it's, again, my rice cakes with guacamole and turkey for lunch. My snack is protein pudding. So it's Greek yogurt with a scoop of protein with a little bit of cocoa powder, a little stevia, mix it all together. It makes like a really nice chocolate pudding. And then dinner, again, it's like lean pork, steak, chicken, fish. We might do Beyond Beef. We might do tofu. But, any kind of protein like that. And then at night, I will make, I call it protein ice cream, or it's like a Wendy's Frosty. I will take a scoop of protein powder, some ice, some water, some xanthan gum, which is a thickener. I'll put that all into a blender, and it makes a really thick like shake that you really need to eat with a spoon. So it's great for, sweet tooth, for the coldness, for ice cream, for in the summertime. But that's what I typically will have, and I'll have sometimes a protein bar if I'm really short on protein. And some of my favorite protein bars are the Built Bar, Quest, Power Crunch. But obviously eat what tastes good to you. Just watch the sugar, watch the carbs. Some of them are super high carb, some of them are super high calorie. I try to keep the calories like around 150 because to me it's a snack. Like I don't use it as a meal replacement unless I'm as an emergency, I'm in a jam. And I try to limit how much protein powder I have. Again, that's another great way to get your protein. It's fast, it's easy, it's reasonably priced. So, and my favorite proteins are, I love Beverly International graham cracker. That's like my go-to. Also love Quest. Quest has some great protein flavors. Love their banana cream, love their cinnamon crunch. And then my husband's a big fan of Optimum Nutrition, the plant-based chocolate, which is good. I've tried it. And it's also a very decent protein if you're looking for plant-based. So those are my protein tips. So with that, I want to close it up because it's been a half hour. I feel like I've been yabbering on. Totally appreciate you guys jumping on. And if you have more questions, if you're interested in the membership, if you're interested in the fast action bonus, anything I talked about, just shoot me a note and we can chat through it. I would love, love, love to be able to help you reach your goals. And that's it. Have an awesome night, you guys.